Hi, I'm Josh Jenkins from Scientific Anglers, and I'm going to go over some of the aspects of a fly line taper that control its behavior, so hopefully you can understand how a fly line was designed based on its taper diagram. For the sake of this video, we're going to stick to single hand fly lines, and there are basically two types of tapers for single hand fly lines. The first is a double taper, and the second is a weight forward. Double tapers are an older style of taper, and they're great for a few specific things. Because you have such a long belly, it lets you mend very easily, which means it's pretty good for dry fly fishing. And because they're symmetric, it also means you can get double the life out of the line. If you wear out one end, you can just reverse it on your reel and fish the other end until that one wears out. Weight forward lines are by far the most common tapers we have now though, and it's mainly because you can get great distance out of those tapers. Right after the belly, the rear taper transitions into a small diameter running line, and that means that it shoots further than a double taper, and it also means that we can fit more backing on the reel. There are basically three aspects of a fly line's taper that controls how it behaves, and the first is taper length, and specifically the length of the front taper. Basically, how long the front taper is going to determine how a fly is delivered at the end of a cast. If you have a very short front taper with a large tip diameter, it's going to turn over very aggressively, and that's going to be great for large or air-resistant flies. And if you have a long front taper that's exaggerated with a small tip diameter, that's going to be better suited for throwing small flies for delicate presentations. The second aspect of fly line design that controls its behavior is the head length, and this is pretty much only limited to weight forward lines because weight forward lines are the only ones that have a running line. The head length is basically the combination of the front taper, the belly, and the rear taper. And that length determines how much line I can easily carry while I'm false casting. It also determines how easy the line is to mend after I've laid my cast out on the water. And these fit into kind of two categories. We have long head length lines and we have short head length lines. Long head length lines are great options if you're looking for presentation and accuracy because that allows me to carry a longer length of line out to a target. We see those lines used primarily for things like trout fishing where you're concerned about accuracy and distance. Conversely, short head fly lines are great if you're just trying to make quick shots. And so a lot of our bass lines and our saltwater lines are designed with shorter heads because it allows you to make quick shots to moving targets. And the third and final aspect that controls how a fly line behaves is the physical weight of the fly line. We sometimes make lines that are what we call overweighted. They could be a half size overweighted or a full size overweighted or even up from there. And the thing to remember is that the more overweighted a line is, the better suited it is to larger flies. So if I'm trying to throw a large streamer or a large bass bug, I want to pick a line that is overweighted because it's going to handle that larger fly better. If I was throwing small dry flies for trout, I could get by with a lighter line because that fly isn't very big and isn't very air resistant. So hopefully if you can take all three of these aspects, the taper length, the head length, and the physical mass of the fly line, you can better understand what a line was designed to do when you look at our taper diagrams in our catalog or on the web.